Tony Khan has opened up about backstage tensions in AEW, but first we have a major update on a potential AEW debut. As of late, the rumor mill has been swirling regarding the news that Edge has worked the final match on his WWE contract, leading to speculation that he could be AEW bound in time for All in London at Wembley Stadium. Whilst the Rated R superstar has claimed that his deal won't expire until the end of September, he has been known to tell a white lie or two in order to keep surprises under wraps. On top of this, a recent report from Fightful Select claimed that there are individuals within All Elite Wrestling that are anticipating the move to happen, something which is said to not be as out there as many would think. Well, according to a fresh report from PW Torch, WWE did offer Edge a brand new deal with the company, although the two sides were unable to agree terms, with many in WWE now expecting him to show up in AEW. And they would write, PW Torch has learned that Copeland presented to WWE what it would take to retain his services, but WWE declined to meet his request. This has sparked a belief within WWE that he is probably headed to AEW and knew at that time what AEW could offer him based perhaps on conversations with other wrestlers of his star power about AEW pay. With that said, Edge has since taken to Twitter to seemingly respond to the report, and whilst he did confirm that an offer from WWE is on the table, he would debunk that there's any heat between himself and the company, as well as claims that he issued them with some crazy contract. Here is what he had to say regarding his future.
There's no hard feelings between me and WWE. I love WWE. You know, it's my dream gig. It's all I ever wanted to do. I didn't come at them with some crazy contract or anything, and they didn't deny me. I have a contract extension sitting in my inbox. I just don't know what to do. You know, the first time I had to retire, it was forced, and this time the choice is in my lap, and it's a lot harder. WWE gave me that night, Friday night in Toronto, and it was the best night of my career. I don't know if that can be topped, to be perfectly honest. And if we think we can, then great. But I need to sit with it. Just know that whatever it is that I do, wrestling or it's sitting in my rocking chair, it's because I'm having fun. And having fun at this stage of my life and raising my kids are the two most important things.
To me, the PW Torch report kind of feels like a WWE source trying to poison the well prior to any potential decision to not re-sign with them, making it sound like any decision he makes is about money, although as the man himself stated, it's about having fun. And if you want to know more about the Edge situation, be sure to check out my recent video that explores what surprises we could see at AEW All in London this weekend, including some potential debuts, returns, and perhaps even a major retirement. And next up, changes have been made to the AEW All in London card. Last night, AEW would hold the latest episode of Dynamite, where matches were added to this weekend's Wembley Stadium show, as well as some changes that were made to some already booked matchups. Regarding new matches that were confirmed, we will now see the AEW Trios Championships on the line when the House of Black defend against the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn, this after the latter made his AEW return on the show. Another match was added to the 0 Hour pre-show earlier in the day, this when Tony Khan confirmed on the Unrestricted podcast that Hook will be challenging Jack Perry for the FTW Championship. There would also be a reshuffle of the Stadium Stampede match between Team Eddie Kingston and the Blackpool Combat Club, this after it was recently reported that Rey Fenix was set to be pulled from the show. On Dynamite, Fenix would in fact be written off of television at the hands of the BCC, with the match now turning into a 5-on-5 match instead of a 6-on-6 match. The two mystery partners for the Blackpool Combat Club were also confirmed as Santana and Ortiz made their expected returns, possibilities that we discussed in the recent All In Surprises video. This means Santana and Ortiz will team with Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta of the BCC to take on Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, Best Friends and Penta. This wasn't the only match adjusted, however, as it would also be confirmed that Swerve Strickland will now team with Christian Cage in the Coffin Tag match against Darby Allin and Sting, this after AR Fox was kicked out of the Mogul affiliates last night following their tag team loss to Darby and Nick Wayne. And next, this major star would be a great fit for AEW. Mercedes Moné has been one of the talks of wrestling ever since her WWE departure earlier this year, with her later following her dream of wrestling in Japan, making her New Japan Pro-Wrestling debut inside the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom. Speaking with Muscle Man Malcolm ahead of All In London this weekend, former NJPW Strong Women's Champion and current AEW star Willow Nightingale would discuss the possibility of the CEO becoming All Elite, something she feels would be a great fit, and Willow would say, "If that is what she would want to do and she would want to be part of our team, I would love it. I think she's undoubtedly an amazing performer, one of the pivotal people in creating women's wrestling to be in the space that it is today. There is no denying just how prolific she is and the star power she brings. She would be a great fit for our team. The world is her oyster. She's really proved that, going out on her own and finding so much success in New Japan. I do wish her well. I hope she's healing up good. Whatever she wants to do, she's got it." Mercedes is currently sidelined following an injury sustained during a match with Willow, a knock that forced a change of finish, resulting in the AEW star becoming the first ever New Japan Strong Women's Champion, a title she has since lost to Stardom's Julia. Were Mercedes to debut in AEW via the Forbidden Door, perhaps we could see a rematch between Moné and Nightingale to potentially even the scores. Mercedes was one of the subjects that we discussed in the All In London Potential Surprises video if you want to find out more. And before we get to our final story of the day, let's pay tribute to the late Terry Funk. Last night, news would break that wrestling legend Terry Funk had sadly passed away at the age of 79, with the story first hitting social media after the news was shared by Mick Foley and Ric Flair via Funk's daughter Brandy. Let's first take a look at the tweet sent out by the Nature Boy, who would write, "In my entire life, I've never met a guy who worked harder. Terry Funk was a great wrestler, entertainer, unbelievably fearsome, and a great friend. Rest in peace, my friend Terry Funk, knowing that no one will ever replace you in the world of professional wrestling." Mick Foley, somebody whose career is synonymous with the Funker, would take to Twitter to share some words regarding his close friend, and he would write, "Terry Funk is gone. I just talked to Terry's daughter Brandy, who gave me the awful news. He was my mentor, my idol, one of the closest friends. He was the greatest wrestler I ever saw. If you get the chance, look up a Terry Funk match or a Terry Funk promo and give thanks that this incredible man gave so much for so long to so many. There will never be another like him. May God bless Terry, his friends, family, and all who loved him. RIP, my dear friend. It was an honor to know you. #RIP Terry Funk." Following his wrestling debut in 1965, there would be 52 years between the year Funk debuted and the year of his final retirement. He wrestled his last match aged 73 and is known as somebody whose love for the business made it difficult for him to walk away. During Terry's 50-plus year career, he would work for many promotions across the world, including WWE, WCW, NWA, ECW, All Japan, New Japan, and Jim Crockett, and many, many more. His ability to adapt to a multitude of styles and circumstances allowed him to become one of the most influential wrestlers of all time, whether he be playing the role of a dastardly fearsome heel or a sympathetic babyface. No matter the case, he was able to spark the desired emotion from the audience. Finally, let's go to some words from one of the talents that Terry inspired, CM Punk, who shared his thoughts with the audience at attendance at the AEW Collision taping last night, and he would say, "One of the big reasons I'm here, maybe that Sting's here, maybe that Darby's here, there's a little piece of this man in each and every single one of you here today. I stand on the shoulders of giants, and today we lost one. Terry Funk, no matter what religion you believe, maybe you don't have a religion, one thing I believe is that you are never truly gone, as long as there are people who look up to you, remember you, and continue to tell stories long after you're gone. My heart is tender tonight because Terry is gone, but I can still smile because Sting is still here. Terry Funk is still with us every day. There's a lot of legends that are still here, but we have to give respect to people that paved the way." And next up, Tony Khan has opened up on backstage tensions in AEW. It's fair to say that right now there is a sizable divide within All Elite Wrestling's locker room, mostly surrounding the history between the Elite and CM Punk, stretching back to before the infamous backstage brawl at AEW All Out 2022. Speaking with The Hollywood Reporter this week, Tony Khan would be asked about the challenge of managing such tensions in the back this ahead of All in London, where many of those with heat will be in the same building at the same time without the luxury of two separate shows. And Khan would respond, "I want the best wrestlers here in AEW, I want the best roster, and there may be some of them that don't get along with each other backstage or on TV. It's not ideal, but it's a reality, and I can't make everyone get along. I'm not sure it's necessarily even in the best interest of pro wrestling for everybody to get along, but ideally everybody is going to be able to focus on their matches and putting on the best shows for the fans, and I think that's what we've been doing." Tony would note that the competition to be the best can only help AEW's television product, and he added, "There are a lot of people around here who think they're the best, and I think a lot of them have a valid claim that they're the best. And what I'm trying to do is create an environment where everybody can go out and prove it multiple times per week, and create a platform where the fans can decide who the best wrestlers are, what the best rivalries are, what the best matches are. As long as I can keep the top talent in AEW, we will have the best matches and the best big events." As it stands, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, the Young Bucks, and CM Punk are all scheduled to compete at AEW All in London this weekend, although there's no doubting that Wembley Stadium is a large enough venue to keep the two camps separated, much like we saw at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view in June. And make sure you check out what surprises we could see at AEW All in London.